Hello everybody and welcome to ARL-TV for round 2 of the V8 SuperCar Championship. My name is Andrew Woodhouse and joining me as usual is my good friend and broadcast colleague Alex Simpson.
Well, he did win the truck race.
iRacing Grand Prix driver. Good morning Alex, how are you?
Yeah, good morning there buddy. Good. Looks like we've got some spectator chat kicking in, interfering with it this week, so something we're going to have to sort out for next race, so apologies if you get the odd random swear here there, and we'll try and alleviate that for next time.
Yeah, we didn't get the FIA press release relating to bad language.
Yeah, but no, yeah, round 2, V8 Supercars, Watkins Cup. I'm really looking forward to this race. Got some big names in here that have turned up. Let's hope that's just not a one-time wonder and that they come back.
Indeed, and the Cup circuit here at Watkins Glen is much shorter than the ones that we've used previously in the IndyCar series, for instance. It's more relying on straight line speed, slipstreaming. We should get some close racing, and I'm sure by the end of this qualifying session, of which there are about 8 minutes to go, we're going to see some close times, Alex.
Yeah, I think it'll be fantastically close here. The Glen sort of leads itself a little bit to that with you know, the long straights, a few corners in there, so well, I think it's going to be an epic race.
Indeed, we've got some fast drivers in here as well from the official series. Shane van Gisbergen is among them. Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah, good day guys, how are we?
And there's a big crash at the pit lane entry there.
Can I get a black check?
Scott McLaughlin is sideways on the straight as well. Looks like we're going to have a very hectic last few minutes of qualifying. At the moment, the fastest time is by Dylan Carroll on a 1:11.3.
Test.
Alex, do you think these drivers will be trying to slipstream their teammates in qualifying to try to improve the times?
Oh my god.
Well, I think there definitely will be. There will be some of that. I think with the amount of cars, yeah, I was about to say, with the amount of cars on the grid, I think everybody's going to get a bit of slipstream anyway, no matter what lap they're on. Because trying to find some clear air here is going to be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, you can see that when incidents are happening on the track,
Go
the drivers are just keeping
around
this
in the test
in order to try to
auto clutch
not sacrifice their qualifying laps. It's a big field this year, isn't it, compared to previous seasons? And I wasn't here for round 1, but I did watch it.
The right hand while you're driving.
It was a terrific race, and definitely the massive field did a great job for this championship, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark and Tom done great deeds in advertising this, and definitely getting out there. Third season now, so it's definitely starting to pick up a bit of speed, and let's hope that we see this sort of grid everywhere.
Yep. And round 2 of the championship, still very early days. All these drivers will be looking to amass as many points as possible, of course. But it's important, isn't it, Alex, in the early races to get off to a good start?
The start is key, really. So, for those watching stream, apologies. I'm once again going to try and disable.
Yeah, just did a 115.
Banish the voice of the spectators from the.
I'm going to be awesome around here.
From the stream there.
So quick.
So you can see this track has been used for
I'm guessing that corner's fourth gear.
Well over 40 years in motorsport around the world. We've seen Formula 1 Grand Prix here, NASCAR races on this very layout, and we thought when putting together the schedule for this series that this would be a great track to showcase this V8 Supercar, Alex.
In auto clutch, you never know what it's going to go to up here. It's whatever it feels like.
Just
yeah, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get some of the guys just to pipe down a little bit on there, so we can commentate on this without the interference. Very unusual. Can't seem to stop it at all. So something that needs to be addressed in the update. That can't turn it off.
It must be something to do with the patch that the new build that came out last week, but. These guys are all putting in their biggest effort in qualifying at the moment. Still Dylan Carroll is on pole position. 1:11.3 looks a very fast time. 4.6 seconds covers the field. I'm sure it will be a little bit closer than that by the end. Oh, spin on the straight there, Craig Dorr. That looks like that's out of the S's there, Alex. Not a usual place that people spin. Oh, there's big sideways onto the straight. Dylan Sharman. Very well held. So what's in store for the drivers today? We've got 35 laps of this Watkins Glen Cup circuit. Slightly shorter lap time, of course, than the normal layout.
Yeah, 35 laps, 90% fuel, so guaranteed pit stops just to spice things up a little bit there. So strategy's definitely going to play a bit of a part in this. So I mean, I was talking to Madison last week about how the strategies were going to pan out with Road America, and he quite anticipated people would go for would pit in quite early as soon as they can make the whole race distance, so they've got fresh tyres, get track position, get undercuts and things like that. But didn't pan out like that, and there was drivers doing all sorts of different strategies. So it's definitely something we're going to have this week as well, I feel.
That CPL car sponsored by Simpson here looks fantastic.
As well, the grid that we've got here today, strategy's going to be going to play into a part, but also traffic's going to come into it as well. I mean, we could see that the leaders having great problems with the back markers later on, especially if these groups of back markers happen to be fighting each other, which is often the case.
What number?
We just hope we're hoping as well to get to the first corner clean. Of course, we've seen some incidents here in the past at turn 1 down there. We're just relying on everybody to try to be judicious on the brakes, not too aggressive. Positions will be made later on in the race, not necessarily at the first corner.
Well, I'm trying absolutely everything at the minute to get the spectator chat muted out. Turn volume levels down, everything.
34 minute qualifying time, Alex. That's amazing so far.
Brilliant. It's just what we want to see.
And the gap between the field is down to 3.8 seconds, so it's closing all the time. Shane van Gisbergen has actually taken provisional pole position with less than 3 minutes to go with a 1:11.2. So now most of the drivers, most of the top guys are out for their final run in qualifying.
See him, everybody flowing out the pits there in quali. So like I said, finding clear air is going to be the key thing here to getting a run. I mean, just look at everybody stacked up there trying to find that clear space. It's just not going to happen.
Tommy Kumpers on the grass on the way through the S's, still managed to keep it going. The thing is, Alex, it's going to be so difficult for guys on a flying lap to negotiate all this traffic. It'll be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, that's, like I say, that's the biggest trouble is, it's not only about getting clear air, but like you say, you're bound to come across it.
We've seen there a couple of guys missing the braking point into the chicane. Having to go down the escape road. We might see that a lot today. I think they're just cruising around on their outlap, trying to get out of the way of cars on flyers, but...
Yeah, no need to burn the tyres up or anything like that.
No, definitely not. So difficult to negotiate the traffic, especially at this late stage of qualifying where, a couple of seconds could be the difference between getting another lap in or not.
I mean, look at all these cars here coming around on the hot lap. It's just crazy.
There's a bit of contact as a result through the last corner due to everybody being so stacked up. Over the line to start the final lap of the session. Absolute craziness here. Jay van Gisbergen there. He's got provisional pole position at the moment. Can he improve on it? Well, he's on his final lap. Through the S's and down the main straight. Down towards this bus stop chicane, Alex, which is a lot faster than you think it is.
Yeah, it is completely. The car's able to really attack the curb in as well, so just sort of breeze over it. Well, I say breeze, it doesn't feel like that in the car, but they can stick.
And you've got this fabulous carousel corner.
Shane's got a clear run here as well, so he's perhaps going to try and improve his time out there.
Does, and that's really important at this point in qualifying. Just needs to try to get these last two corners right. Both pretty fast. Go left and then right.
Looks like a pretty tidy lap, but I don't suppose we expect anything different. Just perhaps clip the curb there on the last turn.
You've got to avoid that curb if you want to get a good lap time, and he has got a good lap time, 1:10.9. That's a fantastic lap from Van Gisbergen. And that might have just in pole position, I'm not sure yet, because there are still men on a flying lap. Down a marker there for the race. Fantastic driving from him. Harmon coming over the line, currently 33rd. I'm sure we want to improve on that. And he has up to 21st place, so good lap from him to improve. I think that's your lot for qualifying, Alex. So, do you want to take us through the grid?
I would, but my grid overlay failed miserably.
Never mind.
If you can do it, because you'll have it on the iRacing screen. It's definitely something we've got to work out. I think we had a little issue with it last week, so.
All right, so we'll take you through the top 15 here. Shane Van Gisbergen and Dylan Carroll share the front row. Van Gisbergen, great lap in qualifying there. Trevor Johnston and John Emerson on row 2. Johnson won last week at Road America. Scott McLaughlin 5th, Simon Black 6th. Then it's Richard Stamenkovic and Chris Luckey, old sparring partners, on 7 and 8. Marlon McMullen is 9th, Oscar Hardwick is 10th. Then Matt Burnett, Chris Stone, Marty Atkins, Dylan Shepherd and Thomas Kumper. They round out the top 15. It's going to be clobbering time very shortly, I think, here at Watkins. All these cars streaming down to turn 1's going to be a sight to behold. Who's your money on, Alex?
It's hard to say. A lot of new faces this week. I mean, you know, your money's going to be on the big runners like Shane and perhaps Scott, but I don't know, with the traffic and things like that, anything can happen.
Very, very difficult to underestimate Trevor Johnston after last week as well.
Yeah, Trevor Johnston sitting P3.
We are almost ready for the start here at Watkins Glen. We are going to have potentially 34 cars taking the start. We've got 32 on the moment. So round 2 of the Apex Racing League V8 Supercar Championship.
It's the last two
It's
cars
about to get underway.
form on the grid. That stream of cars just goes all the way back to the last turn.
They're almost round the last corner at the back there.
Lights are coming on.
We're ready for the start here at Watkins.
Green, green, green!
And it's go, and it's an awful start from Van Gisbergen. And he's already swapped by the two men alongside him into the first corner. This is key for the race. Everybody's going to get through carefully. The Fujitsu machine of Dylan Carroll that takes the lead.
Got a spinner at the back there. Sim Vibe car. Not sure who that is. Looks like Maya there, just getting turned around. Only the one victim into turn 1. That was pretty impressive.
Oh, there's a big crash up at the top of the hill. And we've got, it was David Riggs.
Yeah, Riggs in the Castrol.
But it's a great start from Dylan Carroll.
Oh, Shane very sideways at the carousel.
Oh, a trail of smoke left behind him. Trevor Johnston's in the wall. Winner of the last race. And it's all kicking off down the straight here. With the car sideways. And there's a big pile up almost. Car flying through the air.
I think we're gonna...
That was Scott McLaughlin. Meanwhile, at the front, Dylan Carroll leads. Look at the lead he's got. Already 3 seconds over Van Gisbergen, who struggled on the opening lap, Alex.
Cars just going off left, right and centre here now.
First couple of laps is always difficult in this car. Might be just a case of weeding out the weak here at the moment. Start.
Yeah, cars flipping everywhere. Absolutely chaos in that first corner. Sorry,
Dylan Carroll's lost it. He's in the wall. He's probably out of the race now. Well, that's the leader gone. That's Van Gisbergen back up into the lead. Absolutely crazy start here. Say everybody got through turn 1 okay, definitely went to pot after that.
Yeah, it looked like everybody used their head in that turn 1 and then just completely forgot about it. It's ever so easy though. Car gets particularly loose, going up that hill, through the S's, coming out of the carousel, and with, well, like I say, 35 cars all trying to stream around there, it's no surprise that when one car goes, a few follow.
Yep. And obviously with Watkins with the barriers lining the track in places, it's very difficult to get out of the way as well if you see an accident. But it's Van Gisbergen from Emerson, then Simon Black, Luckey, Shepherd, Atkins, Falters, Hardwick, Johnson and Cumper. That is the top 10 at the moment. And it looks like we only had, oh well, we had a few retirements actually. We had 38 starters. I think we had 7 retirements there on the first lap. I think some of those did qualify, some of them didn't. So practice doesn't necessarily make perfect at the moment in the V8 Supercar Series. Romer Alcala up to 15th from 28th on the grid, Alex.
Fantastic.
A great start from him. He might have some company soon from Marlon McMullen. Marty Atkins trying to chase down Dylan Shepherd. That'll be for 5th position. We've got a spinner on the main straight. Somebody's off into the wall. Not really sure who that is. Not sure who that was, Alex. Can you see that?
Sorry, I couldn't see that. Just getting information from the admins that for causing an avoidable accident, the leader's actually going to get drive-through penalty.
Wow. Well,
so lap 1, and that was taken out. He went into the back of his teammate there, so it's going to cost both. It's going to cost both of them.
It's poor driving by those two guys. Never want to take your teammates out, especially not on the first lap when you're 1 and 2. Well, they were 2 and 3 at the time, but Dylan Carroll.
A few cars just going through the exit runoff area there in the chicane.
Dylan Carroll gave up the ghost on the first lap, crashing into the walls. So, yep, not a great start for him or for this ANZ team either. See traffic emerging from the pit lane exit just as the leaders are coming through. It's always the worst time to come up the pass, isn't it? David Blundell, and he's going to get out of the way as quickly as he can. And it's Vidriggs as well, so the 2 Davids in the middle of it. Marty Atkins is having a look. Dylan Shepherd into stop, decides not to. Tim Falters is 7th. He's got Oscar Hardwick behind him. Or Lenovo. No, he's not a Lenovo driver anymore, is he, Oscar?
No, I think he's iFinity now.
And we've got Dylan Sharman, who had a poor qualifying, but he's all over the back of Tommy Cumper here. Cumper started 15th, now 9th. Oh, Sharman trying to muscle his way past at the last corner. That did not work. Got to be a bit more judicious than that in your overtaking manoeuvres. Especially with Tommy Cumper, he's not an easy man to get past. Very strung out in the midfield now, Alex. One of those crashes behind.
Yeah, sorry, here, just be right back with you.
And we've got now, and Tim Falters is under a lot of pressure. from Oscar Hardwick. Hardwick's going to try to have a look at Falters into the chicane, knowing Oscar is going to have a go. And he does up the inside, and he makes it stick. Goes a bit wide, but he gains a position. Excellent move from him. Brilliant. Trevor Car's up front, a little bit further forward. Chris Luckey, only a few tenths ahead of Simon, and they've got Dylan Shepherd and Marty Atkins right behind them. Alex, what would you say is the key to success in this race today?
Well, I think the main thing is just keep it tidy, keep it... I mean, you're going to have to be in it to win it, I think, this time. That's the key thing. You know, if you can run steady, smooth, stay out of trouble, I think generally you're going to be in a good position at the end of the race.
We've already had 10 cars in the pits as Van Gisbergen takes his drive through. I think Romer Alcala's had a problem as well because he's down to 27th place from that fantastic start. Interesting to see where Van Gisbergen emerges from the pit lane. Or is he even in the pit lane, Alex?
I'm not sure where he is actually.
He might have just
I think
gone.
he might have, yeah, looked like he zoned out. He seemed to have disappeared off the server, so...
Well, he took his team out on the first lap. And that's, well, not what you expect from him, but here you go. John Emerson then has the lead. He leads by 5 seconds, Alex. It's a great position for him so far. Simon Black is third, behind Chris Luckey. Chris Luckey's actually catching Emerson on that lap, 4 tenths. He closed the gap by. Richard Stamenkovic had a poor start. He went down to 14th place, but he's now on the back of, he's now ahead of Chris Stone. The 13th, Stamenkovic for REM. Veteran of this series.
We're back with you just after issue now. I'm really sorry about that. Got a lot on today. 2 PCs.
But we had 2 race stewards in there.
We do. The only unfortunate thing is they don't have admin access, so we're having to do it all here in the comm box.
Oh dear. Just keeps giving us this morning. As the battle on the track now is for P4, and it's still Dylan Shepherd and Marty Atkins. And they're just behind Simon Black, so final position on the podium will be disputed hotly throughout this race. So the field of 38 that started, Alex, is now down to pretty much 20 or so who can win this race now.
Yeah, I think we pretty much knew that something like that was going to happen.
Yeah, you were hoping it wouldn't, but it's almost inevitable really with so many cars going through, because you get kind of a bottleneck effect as well in turns 1, 2 and 3 here, and yeah, it just all closes up, and especially when you get people trying to go side by side through the S's or through the carousel, you're going to end up in trouble sometimes. So, but here we go anyway. We've weeded out the dead wood, so to speak, and with 27 laps left here at Watkins Glen, we've got a race on.
Yeah, Marty Atkins behind his teammate again. These 2 drivers seem to be separated by, well, not a lot each week actually.
Yeah, they're very good drivers, very evenly matched, as he said, teammates. So maybe they're just maintaining the status quo here and not being too aggressive with one another. Yeah,
I mean 35 laps. Still, we've got 25 to go, so still a long run. So anything can happen. Tyre wear, things like that, all going to come into play. Like I say, we've got pit stops to happen, so that could either bunch up or you know, the field could perhaps spread out a little bit more. Who knows?
I think Tim Falters might have had an issue in the final sector there, because he did lose some positions on that lap. 3 places. Oh, he went off at the chicane, so that's why Tim is down to 9th.
got Sharman in 8th, Kumper in 9th.
Walters is having to weave his way through the back mark at the moment. This is the problem, Alex, with so many cars crashing earlier on. Track's going to come into play earlier than what we thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharman here definitely looking like he's going to have a bit of a run. Seems like he's quicker. Oh, sliding out of that last corner. It's probably cost him.
He's still got slipstream though, he might be able to just have a look. Try and frighten Oscar Hardwick off the road. I don't think that's going to happen though. He's normally the one doing the frightening. The wind's a little bit wide there and I'm not sure that helped him.
There's battles going off absolutely everywhere at the minute as Scott's trying to make his way back up through the field as well, past McPherson.
Already past McPherson, he was 3 seconds behind him at the start of the lap, so you can tell that McLaughlin's on it, 112.4, that's good pace in the race.
Prescott coming under pressure from McMullen.
McLaughlin's going to get O'Brien here as well, you would think. O'Brien defending the line a little. Down into turn 1. McLaughlin should carry the speed up the hill. Is he going to get up the inside though? It would be a little bit foolish possibly, but no, he's through. Excellent. Very good driving. So nicely done. O'Brien didn't really fight that though, did he?
No, I think he knew the inevitable was coming there, so...
He's struggling with the car up through the S's as well, Alice, you can tell. Just didn't really have the grip through there.
Yeah, the car's, like I say, the car gets really loose, so perhaps, you know, there's just a little bit of confidence there. Just, you know, O'Brien's still fairly new to the series, so...
Yep.
Does look like he's struggling through the carousel as well.
And it's exponential as the FX car, the better you are, the more confidence you have, and the more confidence you have, the faster you go. So it's a driver like Scott McLaughlin with a lot of experience is definitely tailored to this, as Tommy Kumper and Tim Falters having a battle. Falters, I think, is just past the Englishman there. He was behind him coming across the start-finish line. You've got also Marlon McMullen just behind Dean Prescott as well. Good battles. The gap at the front is staying roughly the same, although Chris Luckey there just took 4/10 out of John Emerson on that lap, so he's on the move. He's the Season 1 champion, Alex. Oh, off. Off goes Hardwick, was it?
Didn't see that on cam.
Well, he was off at the last 2 corners there. If he had an instant before that. Look, his car was crabbing a little bit.
So many cars, it is quite hard to keep up with what's going on.
Oh, he just lost it. Went wide. Hit anything. But it looks like he's got steering damage on that car anyway, so he's going to come in and get that fixed. The fast toe still in operation there?
Yeah, they'll get one repair, so...
Meanwhile, Shepherd and Atkins.
McLaughlin putting a move there.
He's up to 19th place, and that's Matt Burnett in front of him, so Matt Burnett's no slouch.
Yeah, I think he's already passed Matty. So he is flying.
No, he's not. He's not.
No, sorry.
Yet.
No, that was
Kevin Johnston. Up the inside. Do we see a little bit of...
Stamenkovic putting a little bit of pressure here on McMullen as well.
Yeah, somebody went off at the chicane as well there. Not sure who it was who was sideways. But yeah, various troubles for various drivers so far in this race. I think Romer Alcala is out. The Blue are definitely out. Or Alcala, Chad Maple, Spicer, Van Gisbergen, Borg, Esposito, Carroll and Oligo. Then one lap down on McCarley, De Figueiredo, Maguire, Maher, Blundell and Riggs. 22 cars on the lead lap. So McLaughlin's up to 15th. I'm sure he was 19th a lap ago.
Stamenkovic gives McMullen a little nudge from behind there.
All happening, we don't really need to look at the moment. All the way through the race. And McMullen's right up behind Prescott now as well. Put a move on Dean here. Dean's definitely an improved driver over the last 6 months or so. Not close enough yet is McMullen. Don't think, unless he really wants to have a lunch. I doubt he'll do it from that far back though. Even in this car, Alex, it's not a big braking area into turn 1, is it?
No, not at all. It's, I mean, you can use that runoff. I mean, the guy's not really doing it. You see a lot of the aero cars using that runoff area, so. But you've always got that to fall back on, so you can have a little dive and run wide and things like that.
You risk losing momentum in this car, though, don't you? If you go too wide, I think. As speaking of going wide, Prescott struggling in the chicane. Oh, a bit of contact.
On the inside, he spun him. I think. Oh, Dean, hold on to that.
Just about. Well done. Prescott keeps it out of the wall. I think, if I'm honest, I think Prescott cut across him a little bit there. Just a tiny bit. I think McMullen was forceful with his initial move. Now I think Prescott closed the door a little too much. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure there. Tough one to call that. I'm sure the race stewards will have a look at it.
Now then, I wonder if some of these guys are saving fuel here at the front and maybe try and make it on fuel, because Chris Luckey's doing a 1:14.5, Scott McLaughlin in 15, trying to make his way back through the fields, a 1:12.7. But you would think the guys at the front are trying to make it on one time. John Emerson's in the 16s. And I don't think all the drivers at the front have had a problem at the same time. So as a result, some of the midfield runners may be planning on making one pit stop today. John Emerson, just as we say that, he's into the pits, so he's not trying to one-stop this race. To no-stop this race, I beg your pardon. Have you had any incidents there? Doesn't look like it. Just put a lap on Dylan Sharman. Look at the pit stop then. As Chris Luckey's in just behind him, so he's decided to try to cover that one off as the American. It's a good strategy, I think, and look at that. Very similar pit stop times. Where's Emerson going to feed back in? It's some relatively clear air, so it's not bad.
Looks like Paul Maguire just issued with a stop-go penalty as well for causing an avoidable incident.
Emerson's just there behind David Riggs. He's got some space in front of him there.
We've got cars coming out of the pit lane. It's going to be ever so tight going up this hill. Through the S's.
Yeah, it's always difficult for the leaders to come out of the pits.
Burnett, you know, will be happy that they got those guys. Didn't have to deal with slow cars up there.
Yep. It's already we're down to 20 cars on the lead lap. Got McLaughlin's up to 9th now. He's only 42 seconds off the lead, so that's not too bad really.
I wonder if he'll need to pit again, or whether or not he's out for the long haul. Like I say, 90% fuel, I think he's going to struggle to make it because he was in on lap 1.
Car number 21, which is Paul Maguire, being given a stop and go penalty for causing an avoidable accident. So that'll put him, well, he was already a couple of laps down anyway. Tim Falters is leading the race, which is good to see.
Got a car moving right out of the way there for sort of 11th, 12th, 13th. Not sure what happened. Somebody's smoking. I think that's is that Isaac, I think?
Chris Stone's dropped quite a long way back.
Oh, sideways! Shepherd coming out of turn 1. It's in the wall. I think he saved it for the most part, but what damage he'll have, I don't know.
He's grinding to a halt, so I think he's given up on that. Make it back to the pits, might try and get a tow. Or he might not, as it turns out.
Oscar in P10. Coming under a bit of pressure from McMullen.
Many cars here in this race, it's very difficult to sometimes keep track of it. Trevor Johnston has left the session. Shame for him, but he made a little mistake there, which could have been avoidable.
Yeah, unfortunately, Trevor got tied up in that turn 1 incident, which meant that when he did have his stop or anything, he couldn't get another repair. So just the one allowed.
Matthew Burnett is in.
Chris Brooks way down in 19th. Unusual to see him down there. He's normally in the top 10.
Yeah, he's trying to make his way through in the Jack Daniels car. 14.4. He's got decent pace though. So and look at all the traffic, Alex. It really is affecting.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw there was like 2 cars being lapped there, and
some cars getting lapped by other cars while being lapped by someone else. Oh, Mark Noble. Mark Noble's in the fence. Kimmy's Rule fencing car. Well, he's ended up in there. Don't know what happened there to Nobby. It was 3 laps down anyway. Turned into the corner and it just didn't turn.
He was trundling down that back straight quite slow as well, so I wonder if he had a problem before.
Maybe he just couldn't turn the car in.
Chris Brooks putting a move on Matty Burnett, I think is there.
I'll just have a look.
Just trying to still get used to the REM liveries and who's in what. It's so different to before.
Burnett just came out of the pits.
Hardwick under pressure again. Down into turn 1, defends the move well.
Burnett just came out of the pits there, Alex, I think. I think that's why he's so close to Chris Brooks now. Bolter's just pitted as well and he's out behind Burnett. So this should hand the lead back to John Emerson. He comes in, Tommy comes still behind Falters, so they both pitted. Difficult to keep track in the pit stop phase, but we've got John Emerson now. 112.5 on the last lap, so he's on the move now. That's his fastest lap of the race.
Oh! Oscar there, looked like they're getting sideways. It's jumping on that battle, I think. It looks pretty tasty.
It's always a tasty battle when Oscar's involved, because he usually goes for it. Hell for leather.
Still able down the back straight to defend that inside line. Well driven there. I mean, he was out of shape in the carousel, managed to hold on to it.
You're right though, Alex, they've got some company, mate. It's just Stamenkovic.
Yeah, Stamenkovic drove fantastic last week at Road America, so I think he's got himself through the mire that was the first half of this race, and he's working his way up the field.
Yeah, he always seems to drive well. Oh, and Hardwick getting a bit of a wriggle on there, and that should allow McMullen there to get through and to stay through.
I think it was just a matter of time before that happened.
Can Oscar get slipstream down the straight now? Get enough of a run to close up on McMullen, but McMullen's straight line speed looks very good here.
Yeah, even in we were just on board there, even with the slipstream, Oscar wasn't able to really close up at all.
No, like I say, all this battling just is allowing Stamenkovic to close up. Oscar's a fairly experienced driver, though. He's going to know that he can still put pressure on McMullen. Maybe force him into a mistake. Tommy Cumper leads the race. Now, the longer he stays out, Alex, the more chance he's got of affecting this lead battle between John Emerson and Chris Luckey.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something we saw last week from Tommy, was that he did a long stint the first off, and the second stint after that was all on fresh tyres, and he was able to really attack those guys at the front. So a bit of a reverse from what everybody thought, but it definitely worked for him last week, and I think he's going to do it again.
Yep, falters from, I think, what was P2, P3, he's done now. Not sure where he's ended up. We'll see end of the lap anyway where he has ended up. I think, by the looks of it, he is 8th at the moment. So that round of pit stops worked out really well for him. Almost Comper pits as well.
Let's just quickly jump on board with the leader.
Now John Emerson and Chris Luckey.
That battle is getting rather tasty.
The straight fight to the finish. I think Emerson has just gained a little bit of time.
Oh, someone in the wall as Emerson's trying to lap him.
It's Craig Dorr.
That's not what you want to see. That will definitely have got his pump in there.
Had a little battle myself there in the IndyCar series. It's very difficult to, if somebody hits the wall, very difficult to get out of the way there for the S's. But now, what do you think? Do you think he's holding back here, or do you think he's being bested at the minute by Emerson?
What have we got? 12 laps to go. I think he's absolutely going for it at this point. I mean, he had a bit of a shocker at Road America. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for him there, so he'll be looking to get as many points on the board today as possible, so you can be sure he will be absolutely pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I think he had a crash on the first lap of Road America. He had a crash later on. He had another crash at the end. So yeah, I think he wanted to erase that memory of it. Come to Watkins Glen, but we're still in the same country. But it's very different fortunes at the moment for our season 1 winner. Diamond Black's third with the pit stop of Tommy Comper. Comper has come out ahead of McMullen, so he, and behind Falters. I think Falters is 5th, Comper is 6th, and McMullen is 7th. And Stamenkovic, Alex, looks like he's catching Oscar Hardwick now as well.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a little run by the end of the race, I think, so see Stamenkovic try and get an extra place there.
A 00 car, which I must admit is quite easy to confuse with the car of Tim Falters from a distance.
Yep, completely. Just looking at the last laps, Luckey closed in by 0.3 of a second there, so he's definitely putting in a charge, got through that traffic slightly better. Let's just have a quick look, see what it was this time as they come around.
13, it was a 13.4. There was a 12.9 for Emerson and 9 for Luckey.
Yeah, so both these guys are absolutely putting the hammer down now. So, oh, someone pulls back on the track just in front of Chris.
It's not gonna help him. That's not what you need when you're running in second place. You don't need back markers doing that in front of you. He was that's now 2.
Yes, Stamenkovic definitely right on the tail of Hardwick here. So he gets the move done into turn 1.
Past him.
As we see him now, got lots of traffic to deal with through the S's. Not what you want. He's left through 1. He looks like he's going to take this one on the right.
Now there's 2 more back in front of them.
His teammates in front of him. He's got a bit of a run.
Got a run on McMullen now. Just got slowed by the traffic. Stamenkovic, like he didn't take a great line into the chicane. Looks like Hardwick's his cooked as in terms of that 8th position. Got 2 REM boys battling for 12th position as well. Matt Burnett and Kevin Johnston. About half a second apart there on the back straight.
Yeah, Oscar definitely seems to be struggling to keep up with these lads now. Ooh, Stamenkovic a little bit sideways on the exit of the last turn. I think Oscar's not close enough to make a run at him.
Emerson pulled out his lead to 2.7 seconds now, so starting to look good for him. With only 10 to go. Still a lot of racing ahead of us though, Alex. It's not a done deal by any means.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think you know, the battle for the lead, the top 10 spots, they're all still open.
Especially the top 10 spots. Looks like we've got a great battle. There's only 7 seconds between 5th and 9th at the moment. Still all to play for in that respect. Scott McLaughlin's only 8 seconds behind this battle and lapping at 1:12.2. The fastest man on the track by half a second. So there's half a chance that he catches this battle, because Oscar Hardwick on the last lap, while battling with Stamenkovic, 15.0, McLaughlin 12.2. Still a chance for him to come back.
Yeah, well driven from the back marker there, just stayed out of the way. Let this 3-car battle go through that last corner.
Romer Alcala has come back out again. I don't know whether he got full repair or not, but he's going to come out trying to salvage a few points in this race. Back up to 27, and to be fair, even though he had a bit of an incident earlier on, he started 28, he's currently 27th, even though he's 10 laps down. I don't think he's going to be too disappointed with it. As, who else have we got still running? We've got Brett Spicer still running 8 laps down. Paul Maguire's 5 laps down. David Blundell's 2. And 1 lap down we've got Riggs, McPherson, O'Brien, McConkey, Hillagers, Dorr, Brooks and Stone. And then we've got Kevin Johnston 13th, Matt Burnett 12th, Dean Prescott 11th, Scott McLaughlin is 10th, and lapping, like I say, lapping faster than both the leading cars there. Oscar Hardwick 9th, Stamenkovic 8th, behind McMullen. Tommy Cumper is 6th. Resumed his battle with Tim Falters there.
Stamenkovic down the inside, turn 1. No real battle there from McMullen, just let him have it, but although he looks like he's going to have a little fight back up the hill, gets out of it.
Stamenkovic twitched there, just as he went a little bit wide onto that curb. Can McMullen, we saw he had good, decent straight line speed earlier on, can he get slipstream down into the bus stop chicane?
You can bet your bottom dollar these guys exactly running in the same team. They'll have almost identical sets on the car, so
very difficult to make a move as well through there, especially on the
sideways on the exit as well.
I might have done it. Just a little bit further back than you would like. But yeah, your top 5: John Emerson, Chris Luckey, Simon Black, Marty Atkins, and currently Tommy Cumper is having a complete ding-dong with Tim Falters here. It's been over 10 laps. Falters a little bit sideways onto the straight. Not going to help his top speed there. Stamenkovic got a bit wide out of the last. I think he twitched, and McMullen trying to outbrake him up the inside. Oh, very close there to contact with Stamenkovic. Oscar Hardwick's just behind. Great race from Tommy Cumper, Alex. Started 15th, he's now 5th.
Yeah, fantastic. We see this week in, week out from Tommy. Always vastly more improved in the race.
And Falter started 17th and up to 6th. So excellent stuff from them. Stamenkovic started 7th and he's 7th at the moment. John Emerson leads and was 4th on the grid. Chris Luckey was 8th on the grid. Simon Black was 6th and he's now 3rd. Marty Atkins was 13th and he's now 4th. So some great drives there to get through the field. I know we've had quite a few retirements and a few at the sharp end as well, but these guys have really fought hard. look at that now, Alex. We can actually see P5 to P9 on the same pitch straight. Even at this late stage, after half an hour's racing.
Yeah, I think Emerson's got Luckey covered here as well with 5 laps to go.
I think he has. He's really turned the pace up since the pit stop. Luckey a little bit faster on that lap, but for every lap that Chris is faster, John is faster on 2 or 3, so it's still been a great battle though. It's hard to drive these cars flat out. Might not have been any overtake between the two, but driving the car flat out is almost as imperative as that.
Comper and Fault still enjoying their little battle.
Still going at it. Falters gets around the back marker there. Is
McLaughlin coming up on the back of this pack now as well, so 4 laps to go. He's inside the top 10. I mean, it's a fantastic drive back, just shows what you can do. Stick it out there, you know, get your repair done, get out quickly.
And now, Alex, I think we need to look for the battle for 7th place, because Stamenkovic has a slight lead over Hardwick, but then we've got McMullen and McLaughlin who's actually caught this group of cars, so this could be anybody's guess, and actually McLaughlin could be in reach of 7th place here. If he keeps driving the way he is. 112.5 on the last lap, and that's when he caught these guys. McMullen, he's trying to shove McMullen through the S's. Not sure that's quite above board there, but he still maintains the pursuit. Down towards the bus stop again. McMullen has covered the inside.
Yeah, great defensive move there.
And again he's trying to push him.
Oh, terrible.
And we knew that might end in tears, and to be honest, that's poor driving there by McLaughlin. He had a much faster car than McMullen. Did not have to try to make that move stick there through the chicane in that way. There were other chances for him. He's paid the price. And also McMullen's paid the price too. Don't know where McMullen's car actually ended up. Looks like it was the barrier. It was indeed the barrier, so McLaughlin has actually got away with that comparatively.
Yeah, it looks like he's
but he's not, his car's not handling well.
Looks like he left the server.
Have a look at this into the shit. Yeah, he just it's poor driving, really poor driving, because he saw McMullen slowed down in front of him, gave him one little tap, and then he just didn't back off. Did not back off the gas.
Prescott up to P9 now though.
Yep.
He'll be happy with his drive. Like I said, he kept it earlier on. If you keep yourself out of trouble, you can have a good race, pick up a good clutch of points, and Dean's certainly proving that's what you can do here.
Indeed, he qualified in 20th place, another one who's risen through the field very well. I think we've seen a bit of rash driving from a few people, and in fact it's the people who you would think should know better, Alice, today.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, some or most of the time that's the way it always is as well. But yeah, hopefully next week we'll well, I certainly think the admins have got together and spoke about a few things, so those that are not part of the Apex Racing League won't be allowed to race, so we won't see the odd turn up like that. So
well, we have seen we've seen Van Gisbergen crash into his teammate, we've seen McLaughlin pump McMullen off, we saw Dylan Carroll crash on his own. It's been an absolutely bizarre race from many respects, and it's completely well, it's been quite disappointing really, because when you see nearly 40 cars on the grid, you expect better from these drivers who, like I say, have a lot of experience in this car. And well, digress anyway, because John Emerson has only 2 laps to go and he's driven a faultless race. You cannot put anything on him, because he hasn't made a single mistake all the way through. It's always the same people, isn't it, Alex? You always seem to make it to the end. Always seem to get through it. Chris Luckey. No, he didn't last week, but he usually does make it to the end. He's so consistent. Tommy Kumper, Stamenkovic, Hardwick, Falters, Prescott, they're always there, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what, you know, that's what counts. So, like I said earlier on, the drivers that want to get a good clutch of points, they'll keep themselves out of trouble. Done that effectively, picking up some great points. This is just what Luckey needs to get his championship back on track with. Obviously, Trevor crashing out this race as well. It's open, this championship. I know we're only round 2, but wide open again. So
from Chris Luckey's point of view, it's almost nullified Trevor Johnston's win from last week. So really, we're back to square one in the championship. Tommy Kumper's had 2 good results, and so has Stamenkovic. So yeah, it's wide open. I mean, we're only having 2 races. Of course, it'll be wide open still, but really is going to be a close season, you would think.
it was something that we did see last season though, and season 1 as well. If you can have consistent race results, then you can get an absolute fantastic, you know, finish in the championship as well. I mean, look at Kurt Partridge in season 1. I think he just banged in top 5s all season. At the end, I think he finished like 3rd overall.
Second or something.
So yeah, it was a fantastic season for him, but didn't have the pace as the others. As John Emerson comes around the final corner.
Yep. John Emerson
takes victory here.
Taken.
Watkins Glen Cup Circuit, round 2 of the ARL-TV's V8 Series. Fantastic drive from him. Chris Luckey brings it home in 2nd place. He'll be delighted with that. Scott Black.
Performance in the end after the first
Simon Black, sorry, takes P3, beating his teammate Marty Atkins in 4th. Tommy Kumper, as he's coming across the line now to take fantastic P5.
Yeah, well driven, and from Stamenkovic as well. To be honest, who drove a very consistent race. He had a few problems at the beginning, but he dropped from 7th to 14th, but then he fought his way back to 6th.
Oscar Hardwick there.
Fast guys.
Matty Burnett. And of course in 10th, Kevin Johnson in 11th.
Hardwick was 7th, and he had to make what looked like an unscheduled pit stop for a damaged car, so pretty good from him. Matt Burnett 10th, Kevin Johnston, Chris Brooks kept largely out of trouble after the first couple of laps. Yeah, all in all, it was a good performance up front there by Emerson. He'll be happy that he's managed to take the victory here in round 2. Chris Luckey gets his championship back on track, and Simon Black, he gets the 3rd step on the podium. So, who's the driver of the day, Alex? Will it be the winner?
Yeah, I think you need to say the winner. But I wouldn't also count out Tommy. I mean, coming from where he did on the grid, fantastic drive, kept himself clean. But also anybody who did have a clean race as well, because there was a lot of cars out there, a lot of carnage. Not always easy to avoid. People kept their head well.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who probably drove below expectations today, but quite a lot of people drove above expectations, and they were the ones who finished. They were the ones who were going to get the good championship points. And looking forward to next week, Alex, which is where?
It's a good question. I don't have it up right this second. You always pull these ones on me.
But I think the ARL-TV V8 SuperCar Series, you know, it is going from strength to strength, and if you would like to join in, well, join the Apex Racing League group on iRacing.com. You'll be eligible to take part in these races.
So Virginia
in future.
So it'll be an interesting race for sure. I remember season 1 was a cracker, so look forward to that.
Yep. And for the next race, you must have league membership in order to compete. So get on there and apply for a league membership, and we'll see who gets in or not.
Just wonder if do we have? We don't have a race winner down in the chat, but we have got Chris. I wonder if you can just quickly send him a message, see if he's up for just jumping up and taking a having a quick interview.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Just while Woody's doing that, just want to just give a shout out for the sponsors as well. So for Apex Racing League for organising and running this, give them a little nod earlier on. Mark Noble and Tom Jones just getting everything sorted in the back end, as well as Sim News Daily for sponsoring us and keeping the community up to date with all the latest sim news. Don't forget to follow us at Apex Racing UK on Twitter, and our Facebook site is Apex Racing League.
Indeed, and we're joined here by Chris Luckey. Good second place for you there, mate. It was a lot better than last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Woody.
Tell us a little bit about your race, Chris. How did it pan out for you today?
Qualifying didn't go so well, but I'm never a good qualifier. But the first lap was crazy. It seems like every time I missed a wreck, there was another one right in front of me. I think I dodged 3 or 4 of them there at the beginning. But I got wrecked out last week, so I got lucky getting second this week, and I'll take the points.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say everybody got through turn 1, but then it just seemed to sort of kick off going up the hill. Is the car particularly tricky up and through the S's?
It can be, but not on fresh tires. So I was, surprised that we got through turn 1 and everybody wrecked after that, because that's usually where the wreck happens on the first lap.
Well, I think the main crash on the first lap was coming out of the carousel with Shane and
Scott.
So, yeah, I mean, are you surprised as well, Chris, that some of the more experienced drivers were the ones making mistakes today?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see exactly what happened, but when I was looking at the lineup, I expected to finish around 6th or 7th, and to bring it home second on other people's mistakes, I'm happy with. So.
Yep, I mean we were quite disappointed with some of the driving out there, but from your perspective, yourself and John did a great job up there, and it's key for your championship that you start putting good results together, and you've done that today. So. What's your aim for Virginia next week?
I don't know. I'm not sure where at Virginia. I think it's Sonoma, but I don't really like Watkins Glen, so I'm happy to finish second here. I don't like Sonoma next week if that's where we're at. If it's Virginia, I don't even know the track. So wherever we're at, it's going to take practice. I think either Simon Black or Marty Atkins are going to be leading points. I think the first 2 weeks they brought it home with top 5s. So it's going to take clean races and podium finishes to reel them back in.
Yeah, congratulations again today, mate, and fantastic result. Anybody you want to thank, sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, my teammates. I see Tommy got top 5, Romer Alcala, Dean Prescott, and Lenovo, of course, our sponsor. So, all right, thanks, guys. Woody, AC, good job.
Cheers,
right,
Chris.
Thanks.
We'll see you next week.
Well done.
I wonder if there's anybody else down there that we might be able to grab. How about Stamenkovic?
Yeah, we can do. Stamenkovic there. We'll grab him.
Yeah, see if he's up for an interview. Just while Woody goes away, yep, VIR North Course next week, 28 laps. Should be an interesting one to watch, same time, same place. I say a few changes, and we'll have just the league members in there this time. Hopefully no carnage from some of the top runners. And we're joined in the commentary box, Richard Stamenkovic. Richard, it's been a while since you've been up in here. Good race today, well fought back. A couple of good finishes so far this season. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, I didn't really go as planned, that one. I don't know what happened up front there with Shane and Scotty, but yeah, just sort of Constantine, everyone slowed down, and I don't think the person behind me saw, and spun me, put me back into 32nd.
Were you a bit surprised? I mean, we asked Chris this as well. Were you a bit surprised that it was some of the better drivers making the big mistakes today?
I'm not too sure, really.
We did think that we would be surprised if everybody got through turn 1 okay. So what was your first lap like? Because you did end up down in 14th place for a while.
Yeah, no, the first lap wasn't, well, like that's when I got spun, so got right back. Ended up working the way through the field. Everyone's pretty good back there. I just don't know what the front runners are really doing, really.
It's a little surprising. I mean, looking forward to next week. You know, what are your thoughts? Just keep racking up the top 5s and see what happens?
Yeah, no, we'll see. Consistency is key, but I've got to get a couple wins.
Yeah, obviously, season 1, you know, your consistency proved, and you were right. You were in the battle for the championship right until the last race. So, obviously, who's your main rivals this season? Is it Chris again from season 1? We're gonna spark that back up, or is there a couple of new drivers that you've got your eye on that you think might be there at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a few this season. We've got quite a few racing. You got John Emerson, Trevor Johnston. You got Marlon. I know he's quick. Timmy's showing pace. So really, there's a lot of them. But yeah.
All right, thanks again, mate, for popping up. Anyone you want to thank, sponsors or anything like that?
No, just thanks Packaging and More and Rear End Motorsports. It's been good. Good race.
Cheers, Rich.
Right, Rich,
Thanks. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Right, I believe, Alex. I believe we've got our race winner in the server. At least there is someone called John E down there.
It is indeed John. So we'll just drag him up. Hi, John. Welcome to our Team Speak. Fantastic race from you today. Tell us a little bit about it.
Hey guys, yeah, nice to be here. Yeah, that was a pretty wild race, wasn't it? It was pretty chaotic those first couple of laps.
Yeah, we were just speaking to a couple of lads saying exactly the same thing. So yeah, sorry, tell us about your race.
I didn't qualify as well as I probably should have, but I was just happy to sort of, I mean, first couple of laps here is always pretty wild, so going up the hill was always going to be interesting, and Rich got a good run up the inside of me there, so I had to let him past, and then the hole broke loose in front and somehow threaded the needle, and yeah, just sort of held it from there pretty much. And then Dylan had an accident, and everyone just gave me the lead, which was pretty good. And then Chris was keeping me pretty honest the whole race, so yeah, couldn't really relax, but yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, you said you managed to pull out a lead early on, but then after the pit stops you seemed to just improve your pace enough just to keep Chris behind. So were the tyres an issue towards the end there?
In that first set, the car was feeling a bit funny after the impact with Richard. Just sort of lost a bit of traction in the rear, and car just wasn't feeling right. But after the pit stops, it felt pretty good. Lower fuel load, and I think the setup was liking less fuel in the car and fresh tyres. So yeah, it felt pretty good.
So John, you're running in the Monday night series as well. What's your hopes for that?
Yeah, running in that at the moment. I think I'm sitting in 7th at the moment in that, so looking to hopefully get a top 5 this season, but there's some pretty quick guys up there, so I'll be happy just to get a podium this season, I think, at any track. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty tough in that split. It's good hard racing, but geez, those guys are quick, so any practice I can get is good. And the practice here is pretty crazy. All these accidents and stuff, it keeps you on your toes. So, but yeah, this seems like a pretty good race series. This is my first round. I missed the first round, unfortunately, but hope to be back at a couple more for the rest of this season. I got a win under my belt. Yeah.
Are we going to try and see you back next week?
Yeah. Actually, wait. No. No, not next week, but the week after. Yeah, I should be back.
Yeah, we've got a couple of drop rounds, so you should be okay there. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you'll be back for Phillip Island. Track you like, or? I mean, that's a pretty stupid question to ask, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a nice track, good home track and everything. But haven't had the greatest of luck there, especially in the Monday nights. So hopefully I can turn that around in this series. That'd be good.
Great. Anyone you want to thank? Give a shout out to?
Just to our new sponsors, Into Sim Gear. That'd be pretty good. And yeah, just spread the word about this series. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, you guys do a great job. So yeah, see you in a couple of weeks.
Cheers, John. Thanks a lot for popping in.
Yeah, well done, John.
Guys.
Cheers.
See ya.
Right. About wraps up commentary, the interviews for today. Don't see anybody else popped in. Although Trevor's just popped in. Wonder if you want to grab Trevor up, just see what happened to him very quickly. Last week's winner. Oh no, he just disappeared. So
he sensed my cursor above his head.
Yeah, that was it.
And he ran away.
Thought maybe not. Yeah, so you know, a very interesting race this week. I'm pretty sure bits and bobs are going to change as far as the administration, but you know, a few drive-through penalties popped in there as well, so hopefully that should calm a few people down next week as well to realise that the admins are not going to take any more rubbish.
Yep.
And but yeah, very interesting race. Well done to the podium finishers, and yeah, we look forward to Virginia next week.
Indeed, I think well done to anybody who finished after that one. The start's always interesting. I think next week we're going to see a lot less chaos at the start because of the nature of Virginia as a track is a lot more open, isn't it? So you'll see you might see a few people going off onto the grass, but you won't see as many big pile-ups, I don't think. So
that's the only problem with Watkins. The barriers just channel it all in. So as soon as you go off, you hit the barrier back on the track, and there's nowhere for anybody else to go. So, but yeah, for now, I've been Alex Simpson,
and I've been Andrew Woodhouse, and still am.
And we will see you next week. Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then.
Yes.
Go out, we will be racing here in Monte Carlo. Look, but never stare. And we're away. And it looks like a good start by Pilkey and Bachelor Dad looking for a way through. The Ferrari of Amp Warrior in second place. He's lagging all over the track there.